We have a pretty good video. Hold on, let me get this rolling for a few seconds. Run through this. Boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, ba. Okay, guys. We're having a pretty good video today, which is actually my build video, which is meaning I am not starting my build completely, but I have the parts, the main parts. I'm just lacking three pieces. Sorry for the little bit off-putting over, like I'm over here on the side instead of where I should be in the center, because I'm actually going to use the background to do the show off. So, that's going to go down. I still have dashboard up, so if you guys want to chat, let me know if you do want to. That way we can, arrange that while we're going along. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to webcam mode now. Oh, hey. Yeah, that's working pretty good. And got a slight failure. Dude, slight failure. And dashboard. Okay. All right, we got it working now. We're still using Open Broadcaster as the actual broadcaster here, so please, people, be nice. You can actually see that we still have a position issue. Let's see if we can't fit the screen. Nope. All right, so we still have the side margins that have been a little bit of an issue, but, we're just going to go with it. There's nothing else to not roll with, or can we make it just a little bit bigger? Oh, wait. No. All right, we're going to go back under priorities and fix that. That was a little bit of failure, guys. Just a wee bit of failure. Just a wee bit of failure. Hey, failure's not bad in most terms. Okay, guys. What we're going to do is show you what actually arrived of awesomeness. It's a box of goodies from Amazon. Now, the ultimate thing that you would need is the first thing that I actually started looking for. That way I could build around it. So I'm not building around the chipset, actually. I'm building around the motherboard. I got the Rampage V Extreme from Asus, which, sorry, it's box a little torn. I've gone through a little bit. As you can see, the displaced plastic. The motherboard is badass. I mean, to be honest, it's lovely red circuit that's on here. Red and black is pretty cool theme for me. I'm not really doing anything for color, because otherwise I would make sure all my components match that. That's going to actually cost me a lot more money, which does not equal over to a lot more profit on the end. Unfancy equal profit. South Park, gotta love you. All right, so what else have we also got in our bag of goodies? Well, this actually happened to be red and black as well. This is our boost, or our startup drive, which is a Transcend. We actually got a solid-state drive. Now, I'm using mechanical in my actual gaming one for 500 gigs. And I have a few other little mechanical ones from laptops that I've rigged into an actual computer to do storage for the videos that are going along. So you can actually see some of the stored videos, or I actually have internally stored videos directly onto my system. This will do a lot better, because with this, the startup speed is going to be a lot faster. Sorry to keep swinging it. And, the gaming processing is going to be a lot faster. So that's what's going to be going on. Seems like I got someone in the room. Hey. All right. So actually, I got this from Transcend. This is not an actual high-end one in the sense of, well, not a high-end expense, not Corsair, not Samsung. We have a ton of different reference to actually use for your build. I went for cheaper, and believe it or not, I got for cheaper for a 500 gig with 512 gigs. Well, 512 gigs, which was very interesting to see. And then I went in for it because, well, it was a good pricing. And I was even watching a Samsung that was actually 500 gigs, and it actually went over $100 more than the excess of what I've got right here. This still says that it can, set up to 6 GB script and write a second. I don't know if that's actually going to process right or, actually will go through. I've been working on getting down what that actually references, so, I'll actually get to test it out. My second loveliness that arrived was the actual RAM. Yeah, not big, right? It's Vengeance LPXs from Corsair. This is gaming quality DDR4 RAM, which is a requirement on my new motherboard. It's DDR4 is the only thing that it works with. Now this is at 266 hertz, 32 gigs of DDR4, which is actually for 8 gig drives, which works pretty damn well for what I'm going to need, because there's going to be a little bit of an overkill even for gaming scale. I'm looking on an actual 20 or 21 is an actual one in my actual gaming computer, the one I'm using right now, even Access. Which means 32 is still a little bit overkill more. The reality is, you could have 12 or, 8 is the common, by the way. 8's the common you really need for gaming, but hey, look, I have an unholy amount of, RAM. I'm going to be doing a lot with this computer because it's my workhorse, not my gaming computer. So this is the powerhouse right here that, is going to give me a lot better. My chipset, believe it or not, is still in the mail, is a lovely 211 V3 for my lovely motherboard. It's got a 3-on-3 hertz. Now, believe it or not, this is in the K series, which means it's released or isn't it not locked on for clockability. Tried it's open to be clocked all the way I want it. So I could probably get it all the way up to a 4.1 if maybe lucky. But the reality is I'll probably get it up to just a 4 with a good amount of power. But we're going past it. That chipset has not arrived yet, but will arrive in the mail today, hopefully, and then it'll be, a lovely begin to build. Now, I got something else in the mail that actually was in the same day delivery. This is my main set of hard drives. Now, I went with a Seagate despite myself, and I went with a Seagate solid state hard drive. Not a solid state hard drive, but a hybrid drive. So this is a solid state drive pretty much embedded in this in a very low amount for a cache processing. So it's going to be, pretty damn good to process through. The reason I did that, because if I have to do any switches out, or if I decide to use this as the main drive and actually put the other one into the, the gaming computer over there, because I can't get more speed off of it, I have the capability to do it. Now, 4 terabytes went a little overblown, but there's a reason for that. I found a good price on it. That's right. Went kind of cheap on it, so I was able to get a 4 terabyte drive. Now this is for the internal system, and storage primarily right now is my main plan. 4 terabytes, 512 gigs for the actual, boot drive. This is going to be the internal storage for it. This gives me a lot more capability for my, monster or my power horsepower. Basically my work computer really is what it is. It'd be a work computer that is capable of actual gaming, or, capable of doing a lot better on streaming if I need to do some live streams a little bit more in Access. Oh, wow, the phone right now. So that's what I got in the mail. Not bad. Now, the things that haven't arrived or things that I have yet to choose on is actually the power source. I'm thinking about anywhere I can find an 850 watt power source, and then maybe a 900 watt power source. I'm looking at a few of them from different companies because I'm actually looking for safety-wise to make sure that they'll be fine with the computer and actually will be good to use in long periods of time. Which is, a good idea to do in generalization. I'm also doing some reviews on what I actually want for graphics card, which, not gonna lie, I could go ungodly, which there's some 8 gigs that exist, and then you can put 2 in there, and then, wow, I've got 12. That's a lot of money to get them. So, since I don't have cash to burn, I'm looking at probably a 2 to 3 and 4. The likelihood is it's probably going to be a 2, and I'll get a couple of them in there in the system and run them all together. That's not going to crush me. I'm actually looking at a 1 gig right now that I have in my lovely computer. That's my gaming computer. 2 gigs, going to add a little bit more of space or a little bit more processing space. I could also go for a chipset that's all the way up to about 4 gigs and, just sit there and be like, woo, I got a 4 gig. So, I've got a 4 terabyte in this fucker. Might as well have a 4 gig. Woo! And 4 is not the theme of this lovely computer. It's actually supposed to be my workhorse, which means I need to put a lot more power into it. Or, at least more donkey power. That's right, I said horsepower is mixed actually in donkey power, and you guys call it freaking horsepower. Now, with all those purchases, I did go over a little bit the amount that I wanted to spend, but I was able to get to where I wanted. Now, I'm still in the middle of 2 purchases, mainly, which is, of course, the power source and the actual graphics card. Now, the cooling system, I'm actually in the middle of flip-flopping on. That's actually something I need, so I actually need 3, setups here. Now, in my current system, I have a water cooling, little Zeus water cooling, about 5 years old, still running pretty awesomely. And I have a closed-loop water cooling system with a radiator in there. And I have 2 sets of fans on it, one with a higher static pressure that is actually on push, and the other one that is on pull, which is the one that was provided with it when it came to me. That's right, it came to me. I did not build this one. This one was actually given to me. You guys rock who gave this to me and his awesome equipment. Anyway, I also added a fan even down at the bottom, but yada, yada, yada. So fan-wise, I have to get several fans. That is actually an amendment that I have to, admit many things that I need to do. The 900D case has a large positioning for fans. Now, they originally are positioning for water cooling. Now, if I do a mass set water cooling, which is actually a custom set of water cooling, then I've been running the tubes and everything in the basement all the way up to the top, which the basement is the lower portion that actually opens down at the bottom. See previous filming for that. Now, that gives me a lot of capability. A lot. But the problem is, I'm not a big person for water cooling, for custom build water cooling sets. They kind of unnerved me because, well, I've seen the massive amount of reference about tubing degrading, and I look at it and I go, well, then there's your sign. That's not a good idea in a computer because then the tubing degrades. Guess what? People just moved on to hard piping, which they actually use a plastic set of pipe that they have to heat up and then bend to the portions that they need. I'm not bad-mouthing either one of them. It's just the safety of it kind of puts me off. And, it doesn't attract me toward it. Moisture in a computer, directly put into the computer, and 50-50. Now, everyone who actually complains about, noise, let me be quiet for a second. Let me get closer and be quiet. I use my Bluetooth mic. So that's actually on my neck right now. It's a hell of a pickup, let me do this. You can hear me breathing even. So there's pickups on this that are pretty damn good. The reason I reference that out, I have an air-cooled system with a water cooling that is actually on push-pull. It is blowing at full capacity with two very large fans. Sorry, three very large fans, where my other fans are a 140 millimeter fan down at the bottom, which I added, and a 120 that I added with higher static pressure. You hear everything as in like you hear the fan? I'm sorry, I'm having somebody on Open Broadcaster. I'm actually doing this on Twitch, which I will be uploading to YouTube later. And I've got someone talking to me as well. I'm actually looking at the register for the sound. For me, I don't hear it, see it going off. But if you can hear it and it actually goes through the noise gate, I guess it is kind of loud. It doesn't bother me in gaming, doesn't bother me, when I'm recording, I thought, because if I stop talking now. Oh yeah, that's a good pickup. Thank you very much. Yeah, there we go. So, the person just, actual saying, hey, this is a very good mic. What that means is the fans are not loud enough to actually bother you. I mean, you even have my air conditioner on. If you can't hear that in the background, I mean, that's definitely decimal levels I can hear. It does sometimes actually even bother me. So, fan-wise, I don't feel that I need to have fans at a low end. Yes, my newer computer will have a larger amount of fan base on it. Does that mean it's going to be a lot louder? We'll see when I'm done with it. If I'm having a major issue with it, I will have a controller which actually comes with the... Make sure for time. We don't have much time left, guys, but I'm actually going to do this. Give you a good reference. The motherboard comes with a fan controller or cooling system controller. This lovely guy little right here. Now, it's going to go with the actual already implanted on motherboard heat sensors. You can also use it as an external and actually see the temperature, and you can actually use it to ramp up your hard drive or ramp up your speed at the time for your chipset. So you can even set adjustments for whenever you ramp up, automatically the fans increase on rate and so on and so forth. For me, I think I'm going to keep it at a constant. The colder the system is, the better the system is, but I'm not going to be freezing out the system. Besides the aluminum body that will help for the temperature, run over, I actually need the multiple fans to actually cool the air upwards. I'm going to go from the front, inwards, down and inwards, and then upwards and out to push the heat out directly. And actually the back port is usually going to be used for the closed loop cooling system for the chipset, or it will be used for the actual fan if I decide to use a, fin-mounted cooling system. Words today. Always words today. If I do that, that means there'll be a large fin portion hanging around inside of the computer with two fans on it mounted with the two CPU connectors that will be directly on there, or CPU fans connectors. Running that will actually run air across it, and the open tubings have a water system or a cooling system to radiate heat, or an open radiator system. So actually the word I'm looking for is radiator. Now anyway, that's my ideas for what I want to do. What will actually happen remains to be seen. I actually have to measure for the open radiator with the fans to see if I can't fit it in here. Well, the closed loops, I'm actually guaranteed with the length of cord is easily going to be able to fit in this massive case, which is the 900D. That takes a lot more effort than I thought it would be, but I kind of feel both would be worth it. I'll probably get one of the fan sets, try it out for the longest amount of time. The closed loop water cooling I have right now, been doing a great job. As far as I can tell, the computer doesn't stutter unless I've run over about 9 hours, and even then it's a barely any stutter if there is. So for computer build wise, feels pretty fine. All right, guys, that's all I have right now. I'm waiting for the chipset to arrive. Waiting for the chipset to arrive. I will be uploading that video or opening that video on YouTube. Well, then putting this video on YouTube to show actually what I received. I had another video that I had an opening. I may do that, but I was actually tired, so it actually looks kind of bad. I'm also using a tablet. So, it's great to have a lot of people in the room, guys. Hey, and I appreciate it. If you keep watching on my channel, you'll see me do a few more of the build videos. You might even see me actually do the full build, because it'll be easy to run the webcam directly over toward my source of where I'm going to build at, and I'll build directly, maybe in this space you see right now, which will mean that I'll need a miniature table, but hey, I'll work out on it. So everything is pretty much rolling forward. I appreciate you guys. You guys are, wonderful, wonderful people. And I am going to get the hell out of here for the evening. We'll be back later today. I'll have kind of a long day for work. Otherwise, it's going to be awesome. All right. You have a wonderful day. And check me out later. All righty. This is Lord Volkhark saying, have a wonderful day. Oh, dang it. There we go.